Hey, what is up, guys? It's Break the Walls 10 back in with another video, and in this video I will be reviewing Elimination Chamber 2013. Pay-per-view just went off the air, and I'm not going to say that this was a great show, but it was definitely like right there. I can understand if people say this was if it was a great show, because honestly, you had a really great Elimination Chamber match and a bunch of good to very good matches. Of course, you had filler, but that comes with almost every pay-per-view. So we're gonna get it started. And the opener, Alberto Del Rio versus Big Show for the World Heavyweight Championship. I thought this was good. It definitely exceeded my expectations. I don't think it was as good as their Rumble match, but it definitely was good. And Del Rio did pick up the win here and made Big Show tap. And I don't know what's gonna go on with Big Show now. Like, I don't know what match he can be in. Maybe like I don't even know, but we'll see what happens there. The match was good. Good opener. It was a solid match. Then we had Antonio Cesaro versus The Miz for the United States Championship. Again, this actually exceeded my expectations until the finish. I really like the dynamic of The Miz's busted shoulder. I really thought that Cesaro was absolutely tremendous, working it over. Miz actually did a fine job of selling it for once. He actually did a good job in this match, but the finish, I know why it was done. Most likely there's going to be a WrestleMania match. Miz is going to win the belt there. But, the finish was just really awkward. Basically, The Miz was going to put in the figure 4 on Cesaro, and he fell down, and his knee, went into Cesaro's nuts, and apparently that's a disqualification. So, that was just weird, and then to top it all off, The Miz winds up kicking Cesaro in the nuts out of frustration. I mean, this guy's a face, and he's kicking somebody else in the nuts. On his own fault, really, because, I don't know. It just didn't make sense. Again, that's Miz acting like a heel while he's a face, which is why Miz sucks. That's all I'm going to say. But, it was a decent match, 2.5 stars. I honestly liked the match. It's just the finish was really, really awkward and really lame. But then we had by far the match of the night, definitely the best match. It's not saying much since we're only 2 months into the year, but definitely the best match in WWE this year. We had the Elimination Chamber match: Orton, Swagger, Jericho, Mark Henry, Kane, Daniel Bryan. Let me just say this. Mark Henry is the man after this match. I mean, he was the star. Out of everybody in this match, he came out looking absolutely tremendous. He just killed a bunch of guys. He pinned Kane and Daniel Bryan, the World's Strongest Slam. He threw Orton through it's not really glass, but the plexiglass or whatever of the pod. What else? He took a huge bump. Swagger and Jericho, suplexed him, and he took a huge bump on the chamber grates. He just destroyed everything, and once he was eliminated, he just came back in and destroyed everybody. I mean, Mark Henry looked like a monster here, and honestly, really, really good job by WWE, picking up where they left off with Mark Henry, because honestly, I think he definitely could be the top heel in the company. That's not saying too much. I mean, the only competition he really has is CM Punk, but honestly, I don't feel like CM Punk is that great of a heel in this run. I think he's a better talker than anything. I just don't think he's an all-time great heel, what he's doing right now. But Mark Henry, he was awesome in this match, and the people were cheering for Mark Henry when he was eliminated, not because he was eliminated, because of his performance in the match. I mean, just awesome stuff. And we started with Jericho and Daniel Bryan, the first two in the match, and then progressively, people got in, and there were no eliminations until Mark Henry got in. I don't think when Randy Orton got in, everybody was in there. I'm not quite sure. But, no, Randy Orton was the last guy out. No, who was the last guy? Mark Henry's, I don't know. Alright, whatever. Scratch all that. Randy Orton gets thrown through the glass. Daniel Bryan's the first to be eliminated. And, you know, there was a little separation thing going on with Kane and Daniel Bryan in the match as well. Daniel Bryan was first eliminated by Mark Henry, World's Strongest Slam. Kane was eliminated by Mark Henry, World's Strongest Slam. And then, Mark Henry was eliminated after, like, Swagger did a move, and then Jericho did the code breaker, and then Orton did the RKO. Sweet revenge from you know, him getting thrown through the glass. Pins Mark Henry, so it's down to Orton, Swagger, and Jericho. Really, like, good finish for the most part. It's just the guy who won. I really hate that decision. Basically, I think Jericho eliminated Orton, and then immediately after that, Orton eliminated Jericho, and then Swagger rolled up Orton, something like that. I don't know. Bottom line, Jack Swagger won, and that, you know, his manager cut a promo before the match as well. So Swagger's facing Del Rio at WrestleMania, and this is a WrestleMania match. Like, that's unbelievable to me. In no way does Jack Swagger deserve to be on the WrestleMania card. Never mind in a world title match. I mean, this is awful. Nobody's going to care about this match. I said that in my preview video. This is just really bad stuff, and, you know, I'm not looking forward to that match, but, like, that, out of everything tonight, that's what frustrated me most. I mean, I'm not paying $280 for my ticket, plus all the other expenses that weekend to see Jack Swagger in a world title match against Del Rio. But, whatever. Then we had Cena, Ryback, Sheamus versus The Shield. Good match. I don't think it was anything special, because most of the time it was just like The Shield working over either John Cena or Sheamus. But they did some good stuff in here. I mean, the last few minutes were the best part, and basically towards the end, Cena had Ambrose up for the Attitude Adjustment. Ryback had Seth Rollins, I should say, for the Shell Shock. Cena does the Attitude Adjustment. When Ryback's about to do the Shell Shock, Roman Reigns comes in, spears Ryback, Rollins pins Ryback, Shield wins. So, I guess I'm happy for the Shield winning, and, you know, definitely props to WWE for keeping this up. Like, the Shield looks absolutely tremendous since they've debuted. So, but, like, Ryback, I don't know what they're doing with him, man. I guess, you know, out of all the three of them, he was the most likely to get pinned, but, you know, that's like 5 or 6 straight pay-per-view losses for this guy. I mean, if you ask me, like, he needs to be turned heel, because the only thing that's over with him is his chant, and, you know, he's not gonna last. And, you know, I don't know. It just, I don't think this was great for Ryback at all. It definitely hurt him, especially now that's like 5 or 6 straight losses on pay-per-view. Ziggler and Kingston, Ziggler cut a promo about not being on the card, and then Booker T came out and announced Kofi Kingston as his opponent. This was like a 4 or 5 minute match, and, you know, whatever, it was okay. Kaitlyn versus Tamina Snuka, let's not talk about it. And then, The Rock versus CM Punk, of course, the main event for the WWE Championship. I like this better than the Rumble match, but that's not saying too much. You know, especially in the beginning, like, there was a ton of rest holds, you know, just didn't pick up, and, you know, started picking up towards the end where Punk took Rock to the outside and tried to give Rock the rock bottom through the Spanish announce table, but it didn't give, it didn't break, which is kind of ironic, since the first time that they tried a rock bottom, it broke early at the Royal Rumble. So just found that ironic, and basically just a whole bunch of ref bumps, and it turns out, you know, Punk hits Heyman with the title accidentally, Rock gives him the rock bottom, and Rock retains. No Undertaker to be seen. So, you know, I thought it was a very good match. Nothing great or anything like that, but 3.5 stars. You know, very good stuff. And after that, you know, the big announcement, official announcement, I guess you could say, of Rock versus Cena 2 at WrestleMania. You know, it's not like, I don't know. You know, I really don't agree with the decision, but I know when I get there it's going to be an awesome experience, so I'm not going to complain about Rock vs. Cena 2, but I will complain about Jack Swagger getting the world title shot, because honestly that's ridiculous, but whatever. So, yeah, overall 7.75 out of 10 for this pay-per-view. Again, you know, I wouldn't blame people if they called this pay-per-view great, because honestly I can see why, but still a borderline great show. Definitely a show that you guys should watch. And yeah, that's about it. Better than Rumble for sure. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. See you guys later.